Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is April 7th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears the CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage a made-for-TV terror event, natural disaster, and or World War III during the live broadcast of the University of Houston versus the University of Florida Final Four championship game in San Antonio, Texas, on the evening of April 7th, 2025 in the United States. So if you recall, back on February 6th of 2011, I published a book entitled The Nuclear Bible, because the CIA was planning a made-for-TV nuclear attack during the live broadcast of the Super Bowl. And so this particular event, the championship of the NCAA, March Madness, if you will, is going to climax with a made-for-TV event. Exactly what type of event is planned is obviously not known. I'm going to list the top 9 events that I believe will likely transpire during this live broadcast. But before that, I'm going to speak to what's going to happen immediately prior. So for those of you unaware, back on April 6th, Benjamin Netanyahu, the president of Israel, landed in Washington, D.C., and he is currently in Washington, D.C. with his Shin Bet and Mossad henchmen. And so if the CIA is able to execute one of these made-for-TV events, which will likely be Cbrn in nature, that's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature, they're going to off-Trump, likely under the guise of a Chinese tariff-based assassination event, a medical event, or some other form of assassination or accident. But Benjamin Netanyahu is in Washington, D.C. to murder a sitting U.S. president in the event that the CIA greenlights one of these attacks or terror events or natural disasters as planned during the live broadcast of this Final Four championship game in San Antonio, Texas. So, in other words, the CIA is going to stage an event during the live broadcast that's going to trigger martial law, likely deploy the National Guard, and it's going to put the United States on a DEFCON level setting, trigger World War III, and or spawn a second global biological pandemic. And so that's what's on tap. So in respect to the 9 scenarios that I have identified, obviously in the aftermath of this report, the CIA may go ahead and greenlight another plan, but it's imperative to note here that it's going to be chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear, and it's going to start World War III. Or a second global biological pandemic. So that's basically what's on tap, and in what form it manifests itself in reality is obviously not known, but the most likely scenarios are as follows. An Iranian hydrogen bombing attack targeting Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, or Greater Israel. Number 2, a Chinese naval attack targeting the USS Carl Vinson that's currently sailing from the Malacca Straits into the Indian Ocean. Number 3, a Russian Navy attack basically seizing the Swedish islands of Gotland or Kalmar in the Baltic Sea. Number 4, a Russian naval attack targeting the French Navy's Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier, which is currently anchored in Toulon, France, in the Mediterranean. An Al-Qaeda 9/11 style nuclear terror attack targeting Seville, Spain, possibly targeting the airport or the Sevilla Tower. An ISIS Cbrn, chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear attack in the North Syria buffer zone, the new DMZ that they created in Syria. And coincidentally, Turkey has just moved a large number of troops into this buffer zone, and so some sort of major Cbrn-related event is expected to take place, which will be scapegoated onto ISIS. Of course, Israeli military is there, so it's going to be IDF troops that are actually going to execute it. A Russia-backed Azov battalion, this is the neo-Nazi battalion of Ukraine, staging a terror attack in the United States under the guise of Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, QAnon related attack possibly targeting Planned Parenthood facilities or hospitals. A Proud Boys QAnon Oath Keepers based attack targeting multiple locations in Portland, Oregon, possibly the Portland International Airport, the Multnomah County Courthouse, the Portland City Hall, OHSU, and other locations. And then last but not least, a man-made asteroid/comet strike, most likely targeting a country or region in the northern hemisphere. And in this particular evening, it would be the date of April 8th, 2025 in Iceland, possibly striking Reykjavik or other areas in Iceland. So obviously, if the CIA stages any sort of earth-changing watershed moment type event during the live broadcast of the Final Four championship game in San Antonio, Texas on the evening of April 7th, 2025 in the United States, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.